All right, let's get right into it, man. Episode 117. We are back. Salute to all my NBA sports junkies. Y'all know what this is, man. Welcome back to the Best of Seven Sports Talk. We got a lot to talk about in the association. Y'all know who I be, man. Seven Mitchell in the building. Like I said, man, episode 117. I'm so excited. Joining me today, I got a special guest for this one. We about to turn it up, man. One of the best when it comes to the NBA reactions, man. My bro is just JP, man. JP, let the people know, man, what's good, man. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming on board, man. We got a lot to talk about tonight.
Man, I'm excited, man. When you gave me that invite, I was like, man, I better be on the show, man. So I'm excited just to be on and blessed and thankful, man. And thank you so much for the love and support, man. I'm excited to be here, man.
Bro, you doing your thing, man. I know we haven't like really linked personally, but I'm proud of you, man. You've been doing your consistent work and it's paying off. I see that you done had your channel for about 2 years now.
Yeah, almost about 2 years. I think August is going to be 2 years. And I'm just blessed and thankful that people like these videos and reactions because people don't really understand behind the scenes how much work we put into making reactions. I'm sure your YouTube channel, you put a lot of work into it behind the scenes, and you just try to put it out there for the people, man, to give them, analysis, give them reactions, you give them everything, and it's a lot of work, but I'm blessed and thankful that people respect me and love and appreciate what I do in terms of my craft. It makes me feel really good about myself.
Yeah, bro, you got some authentic, real, good work, man, and it's consistent. That's the biggest key because anybody can make a good video here and there, but your consistency, is definitely going to pay off. So salute to you.
Thank you, brother.
Now, with everything going on in sports, JP, why did you really lock into NBA or basketball? What's the backstory with you and hoops that kind of make you target this element when it comes to content creating?
I've been a fan of basketball since the seventh grade. I just really got into basketball playing and also watching a lot of basketball, watching a lot of old school and like learning behind the scenes, learning about the old school NBA to, right now, NBA. When I started my YouTube journey, I started doing all sports and I started seeing that my basketball content kind of was getting more popular than my football, wrestling, baseball takes. So I was like, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and keep going with basketball because it's something that I love, something that I am very passionate about. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna focus on my niche just to try to get more views, try to get more subscribers. I said, hey, let me go ahead and react to NBA videos. Let me do reactions. Let me do skits. Let me do analysis, breakdowns, anything, NBA. And it was really paying off. And I'm just blessed to be doing this platform and blessed that I'm getting a really good response from everybody. And also in Twitter too as well, hopping on the Twitter spaces and talking basketball and everybody really enjoying my analysis. So it's just something that I am just passionate about since middle school. And it's just really just taken off for me.
You the franchise player, bro. What the fuck can we say, man? JP is the franchise player. Y'all know the vibes, man. Salute to you on that, man. So, how excited have you
Thank you.
been for this particular NBA season, man? There's so many storylines from injuries to trades to free agency to just a lot of stuff happening this year. How excited have you been so far with the first half of basketball in the NBA?
I've been excited and been disappointed. Excited in terms of like seeing like, really good competition, seeing that both conferences are actually playing really well. We'll get into like what's the better NBA conference too later on. Just the level playing field and being able just to see that you know, we've seen a lot of young rising stars like a John Moran or a Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, like just taking over, like the game and everything. Well, we were saying LeBron's the best player in the world, and KD's right behind him, and then LeBron's getting kind of older. KD's probably the best player. Giannis is the best player. Like we just don't really know. It's like when LeBron retires, who's going to be the face of the league?
Word.
You got so many rising stars that it's just unbelievable. Just the competition, the MVP race. Like we're finally seeing centers, winning MVP trophies. Jokic won MVP, and in this year he could possibly win it, or Embiid could win it.
Yep.
Like just finally, just seeing just a center being able to be in the MVP conversation and bringing back that Sentinel game. It's just been an exciting season. Seeing like people that like a DeMarcus Cousins getting just like bounced from like a lot of teams and then having a really nice game for himself. Seeing Karl Anthony Towns score 60 points last night, and
Yes.
with the loss of his mother, during COVID and everything. So it's just been an exciting season. I really enjoyed the games, enjoyed the storylines with Harden going to Philly, Ben Simmons going to Brooklyn. It's just been exciting. It's just been exciting.
That's dope, bro. Now, recently everybody and their mama has been putting up 50 points. Like,
Yes.
I had to check my mama stat sheet to see if she put up 50 recently. Like, are you surprised to see so many 50-point games from players as of late? It seems to be a trend.
It's just been it's been surprising, but at the same time, it's just respect to the players in their game. Like LeBron scoring 56, seeing KD score 53, seeing Jason Tatum have these 250-point games. John Morant, 52.
Yeah. And then
It's just
LeBron
been
had had a 50-point triple double after that.
exactly. So it's been exciting, and people really trying. I see LeBron trying to win the scoring title this year. Him and MB going for the scoring title. So, but
Yes.
it's just been exciting. It's just been exciting of basketball. Not only the 50 points. Klay Thompson came back this year. Like everybody was just like exploding for his return, and then seeing Draymond Green missing months, getting a standing ovation. Isaiah Thomas getting a standing ovation. When Charlotte faced Boston, just the respect that that he got. It's been really awesome, and just seeing like the players do their thing, being crafty, scoring the basketball, layups, 3-point shot, 2-point shot. I mean, it's been crazy.
Right.
I must
Right.
say.
This is the best of seven sports talk, man. So before we get into the first topic, JP, just let everybody know where they can follow you at on social media before we rock and roll about to get into it.
Oh yeah, man. You can follow me on Twitter, JP at JP Franchise 57. I finally hit 1,000 followers. I'm so blessed and thankful for that. You can follow me on Instagram, Paden 57. I got my Facebook, Justin Paden. TikTok, I finally made a TikTok, so it's going to be Justin Paden 57. And I've been doing a lot of TikTok in terms of like games. I did a tribute to Scott Hall, who passed away last night.
R.P. Scott Hall,
Just
Razor Ramon.
Razor Ramon, the bad guy. So, and that's getting a bunch of views too. So you can follow me there, and then you can follow me on my YouTube channel. It's just JP. Making a lot of basketball content, doing reaction videos, and on the way to 1,500 subscribers. So
You're gonna get there, bro, in no time. A salute to you, bro. You're definitely doing your thing. Now,
thank you.
let's talk about conferences in the NBA. The Eastern Conference, they're pretty much the defending champs. Milwaukee won the championship last year. That was the last time the Eastern Conference has won a championship in the last 5, 6 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think will project right now being the best conference? Who do you like better as far as talent? And who do you think probably will walk away with the Larry O'Brien trophy? Do you see the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference being the best this season so far?
Man, that's a good question. I respect the Eastern Conference because for like a long time, the Western Conference has been like the dominant conference. And then after Kawhi won the championship in Toronto, everybody started, doing duo teams and leveling out the playing field. Kevin Durant going back to the East, James Harden going to the East. It's DeMar going to the East too as well. Like they're
Right.
just leveling out the playing field. And seeing the Bucks win, that really made me excited to see finally an Eastern team winning the championship. I still think the West is slightly better, even though the East got 9 teams over 500, but the West is still loaded with so much talent. It's like you have to bring your A game every single night. From Phoenix to Golden State to the Mavericks to the Clippers is pretty good this year. To Utah, the Nuggets with Jokic just doing his thing,
Right.
crazy and everything. So I still think they're slightly better, but the East has been really competitive. Seeing Milwaukee, Miami, Philadelphia, Brooklyn getting, KD back and Kyrie playing, the away game. So they're kind of playing against Boston Celtics being on a hot streak right now. The Chicago Bulls, Atlanta Hawks is trying to, get over over 500. So
Right.
it's been a level playing field, but I still think the West is slightly better. In terms of winning the O'Brien Trophy, at the beginning of the season, we were saying Phoenix will go to State because they were the two superior teams that was like better than everybody else. And then after like the All-Star break, the Golden State Warriors has just been losing games crazy, with the loss of,
Facts.
with Draymond Green, being out, and then Wiseman, you could just have, and they have a bunch of weaknesses on that squad. But I'll still say that somebody from the Western Conference is going to win it. I want to still say Golden State has a better shot, though, but I'm not going to sleep on Phoenix because Phoenix, if Chris Paul comes back before the playoffs, I think they could be the favorites. But I think Golden State, with the depth and length that they have to figure out a way to, build that chemistry back, because they had that chemistry, and then Klay Thompson came back and kind of ruined the chemistry a little bit because Jordan Poole coming off the bench. It's like I'd much rather see Jordan Poole starting over Klay Thompson coming off the bench just so he get his legs underneath him. So I'll say Golden State might win it, but at the same time, and it's up for grabs. Like we don't even know who's going to win it. It's up for
Correct.
grabs.
Right. No, I agree with you 100%, JP. I think at the end of the day, you got to put a lot of respect on the Eastern Conference. You talk about, DeMar DeRozan coming from San Antonio, going back to the East to play with Chicago. I like to see some of the stars and the superstars, bring it back to the East to play, like you said, make an 11 playing field. But at the end of the day, the West, these squads, they have so much talent. It's hard to beat them 4 times in a 7-game series at the end of the day when you ask me. Like, regardless of the struggles that LeBron and AD and Russell and them playing, I
Yeah.
believe if they make the playoffs, it's going to be hard to beat them 4 out of 7 times. There's still LeBron James we're talking about. There's still Anthony Davis we're talking about. So the West, even though the East has been looking good, and then you also got to credit injuries. A lot of players on the West, a
Yeah.
lot of stars have been injured, which have helped, the image of the Eastern Conference. A lot of those guys have been able to play for the most part. But,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. They're looking good over the East. But at the end of the day, I think the West is the better conference just because of the size of the talent pool. And I think that they're more gritty and they'll go further.
And also, the West had, like in recent years, like they had better draft picks, they had better trades over there in the West. So that's why you see a lot of great talent pool over there in the West. And some probably didn't fit with the team, but they go over West and they just blossom into like a really good player. Like you
Right.
just don't really know with like these draft picks and their potential. It just depends on their fit and the chemistry that they're on.
Now, a lot of people, JP, at the beginning of the season would have probably projected the Brooklyn Nets as well as probably the Lakers, or, of course, you got your Phoenix fans, but there was a lot of talk about the Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets being the teams that represent those conferences. Are you surprised with the struggles that both of those franchises have had so far?
I'm surprised. On the Lakers side, because if you on one of my videos, I said the Lakers is going to win it all because they had talent. They fixed their issue in terms of shooting. I said the only thing that's going to kill it is maybe the chemistry issues, especially with West being with the Lakers. Like I just didn't know it was going to be this bad. We didn't know we was going to get this type of Russell Westbrook. We thought we could get a different type of Russell Westbrook that could sacrifice for AD and LeBron, but he's not going to sacrifice. And plus, the defensive side, they are not great defensively, and they're an
Correct.
old team, to pull off, But I thought like with the experience that they have, they could possibly win a championship. But it's just not working. A lot of turnovers, a lot of not defense being played. Russell Westbrook is just not playing well. Frank Vogel's not really, the coach for the Lakers that could be the perfect fit. Just losing like these young guys. They don't have a lot of young guys, on that team. So it's just kind of surprising, and then just AD just cannot stay healthy.
Do,
He just, yeah, go ahead.
do you see any chance in hell that the Lakers could somehow still make it to the NBA Finals, or do you think that this chemistry experiment that they have created is just blown up? There's nothing that can be done.
I don't think nothing can be done because I think Russell Westbrook is 1 foot out because you've been hearing a lot of rumors that Russell Westbrook wants to get traded after the season. I just don't think he's happy in LA. Plus, with the whole thing with his family, people giving him death threats and everything to his family, I just don't think LA is just a perfect fit for him and all that. And that's okay. They tried it and they knew it was going to fail. LeBron made this roster, and LeBron I got to put some blame on LeBron. I put blame on management, Walt Pelinka, Jeannie Buss. Like, I have to put blame on them because this is not a great roster when you look at it at the end of the day, because anybody could just beat them and all that. If you look at the last games of the regular season, they could probably win just 1 or 2 games, and that's really sad.
Right.
They could possibly get into the play-in, but I'm scared because New Orleans Pelicans got a lot better with CJ McCollum going over to New Orleans. And then Portland, still no joke either. Simons and Josh Hart's actually been balling. So I'm afraid that they could miss the playoffs. But if they could get to the play-in and if AD could stay healthy, the best they could get into the first round. But I just don't see him beating Phoenix. I really just don't. In terms of Brooklyn, I just think that KD, being out, because they were the number one team in the East before KD went out. Then the whole thing with Kyrie and the whole COVID situation, it just kind of ruined that for it. And then James Harden, getting not staying healthy, but also feeling frustrated because the offense is not going through him. And also just in terms of Kyrie's situation, Harden just wanted out and everything. So they're kind of just playing catch up. They're getting Steph Curry. They got Andre Drummond. Ben Simmons is supposed to be coming back. We don't know, but he's going to bring a lot of defense because the problem with the Nets is size. And then LaMarcus Aldridge came back, and then getting Drummond and bringing back some size, and then get a little bit of the defense too as well. They're kind of coming back a little bit, but is it too late? No, they got the chance to go into the play-in, and if everyone can stay healthy, that's going to be the problem for Brooklyn. But I just don't think that Steve Nash is the coach for the Nets. I think that if they got a different coach, I think the Nets could be a lot better.
Interesting, interesting. Now, what do you think about this whole Kyrie situation? Because the mandate has just been kind of the big talk this week in New York because you see certain areas they kind of dumbing down their restrictions, but Kyrie is still not able to play home games. How much is this really affecting Brooklyn's chances of winning the championship with Kyrie not being able to play as much in the regular season? How I guess concerned are you that chemistry is going to be a factor or a problem in the playoffs? Because I'm gonna keep it a buck, JP. Even though they haven't played a big sample size of games, when I see Kyrie and Kevin Durant on the court together, them boys is like water. So I just don't think that they're going to have a chemistry problem. To me, it's about defensive presence and these role players. Are they going to do their job?
Exactly. And that's what's going to come down to. And then plus, Kyrie is not playing home games. He's playing away games. But when you look at the playoffs, they're going to be like, a low seed to against somebody that's a high seed. So you're going to have more away games that could be an advantage for the Brooklyn Nets if they could get it to 7 games.
Correct.
The thing with Kyrie, at the beginning, I didn't really like his decision to not get vaccinated. I think everybody should get vaccinated just to protect themselves. But I understand that, he is, not, this is a personal decision for him and he's still fighting by it and stuff. And I applaud him for fighting by it and everything and not complaining one bit. If he can't play, he can't play. But, the Nets, they were just so desperate when KD got hurt. They were like, well, okay, Harden, and, you got some role players. It's like, it's really hard. Joe Harris, haven't even played a game this season. So it's tough for Brooklyn. The chemistry is there with Kyrie and KD because they're going to score their points and everything. I think Steph Curry is going to be the new Joe Harris, but he's a little bit more better than Joe Harris in my opinion. And then
Okay.
Andre Drummond playing defense too as well. That will the defensive presence, and then giving Nicholas Claxton as a backup, can rest Andre Drummond because you really need him to play against like the big centers so that he doesn't get into foul trouble and everything. The key to it is the role players. The role players have to play like they will have to play really good. Like we saw Blake Griffin in the playoffs, the first 2 games played really well, and then he just
But
disappeared after that.
But it's crazy because you bring up Blake Griffin's name. I just read a report of Blake Griffin being on social media complaining about him not getting any play. So it kind of that's crazy to me a little bit because I'm like, okay, you know what you was getting into when they had Harden, KD, and Kyrie. You knew you wasn't gonna get that much bump, but it seems like now that Harden is leaving, and players are not getting the minutes. I guess they feel like they should got as far as an extension. There's rumblings in locker rooms, so chemistry could play a factor with
Yeah,
Brooklyn when it comes to the role players. Not
yeah.
feeling like they want it.
It could be, it could be. If Blake Griffin's complaining about not getting a lot of play and everything, then chemistry is definitely a factor in terms of it. Like I said, I just think Steve Nash, as much of a great player he is, I just don't think he's the right coach for this Brooklyn Nets team. You would need somebody that you can help people accountable for and everything, and could make that a better squad. So I just don't think he's the exceptional coach. Well, Mike D'Antoni, just don't think they're like the right coaches for Brooklyn. I think KD needs somebody that could, needs a coach that can motivate this team, that can just go out there and play. But if Kyrie is on the court, it just makes them really scary. So
Do you have a name in mind when we talk about possible coaches that would be a better fit for the Nets, a better fit for Kyrie and Kevin Durant? Do you have a coach in mind?
not exactly too sure of who will be like the perfect coach for him. I would love to see, I would love to see a Doc Rivers, but I know Doc Rivers over there in Philly, he got a better situation over there. Um, I just don't really know, man. I just really just don't know who's out there coaching wise that could coach up really good for the Brooklyn Nets and all that. So, I mean, it's tough. It's really tough to think. You got a coach in mind?
I want to see Mark Jackson get a shot. You
Mark
know what I mean?
Jackson. I like Mark Jackson. I think that you know the he don't really need to give him an identity. I think Brooklyn got an identity. They need a tough coach like a Mark Jackson, and plus, he can handle that New York media too as well
Because he
because
played
he's
in
a
New
New
York.
Yorker.
Correct. That's my biggest thing. He played in New York, so I think, you know, that'd be a good fit. Um, let's get into the next topic, man. Who do you think JP is currently, in all honesty? Who's the face of the NBA? Who's the face of the league right now?
Well, LeBron, as long as LeBron is still playing, he's going to be the face of the league. When he retires, you got a lot of good players that could be the face of the league. Giannis could be the face of the league, just because because when you're the face of the league, you got to deal not only with your play but also like the personality sales too. You can see a Luka Doncic, but Luka Doncic don't really have that personality. He just goes out there and play. So I could
Correct.
see Giannis could be the face of the league. You got a lot of potential candidates. LaMelo Ball, if he has a potential, could be the face of the league if he only gets better and better. I also could see a John Morant that could be the face of the league. A guy that got the personality and also is playing at a high level too as well. You
Right.
know, Jason Tatum. I just think he probably got to be in a better market, like a bigger market, so that he could be the face of the league. The face of the league, I could see him. So you got a lot of choices. You still got KD. That could be the face of the league too. So you got a lot of choices. What's LeBron retires for right now? LeBron, is the face of the league. You need somebody that can not only, with play and also have the personality. Anything that happens in terms of like adversity and social justice, you need a player that could be spoken up to, that could
Be on the
represent
front
the league in
lines.
a way.
Be on the front lines. That's a fact. That's a fact. And it's beautiful the names that you brought up. It just goes to show that the league is in good hands because
Yep.
you got so many young up and coming superstars that you named. And even in between those guys and LeBron being retired, you still got Steph Curry and you
Oh yeah,
mentioned
Steph.
you mentioned KD. Kawhi's kind of iffy because he's not real social media present wise, but he's not a troublemaker. He doesn't get in a lot of trouble. So Kawhi, if he was to win some hardware, I think Kawhi could possibly be a face of the league once LeBron leaves. But I agree, man. As long as LBJ is in the building, there's no denying that the king, to me, is the face, and rightfully so, bro. Because, like you said, what gets done on and off the basketball court, especially in 2022, that shit matters.
Yep.
And
Yep.
LeBron has never shied away from that.
No, he hasn't, and he's always been outspoken, which I respect so much about LeBron in his off court. What he does for kids, and what he's doing for the NBA. I think it gets a lot underappreciated because everybody talks about his play and him trying to be the greatest of all time, and everybody just don't really like LeBron. But what gets underrated is just the contributions he does, like off the court, and what he done for the NBA too as well. Like you would have to give him a lot of respect for that. But the problem is everybody wants to go to his basketball play
Right.
and just don't even look at like off the court stuff.
Yeah, man, it's wild. We talked about LeBron having a couple 50-point games recently, but you look at the team's lack of success. What do you feel like LeBron has proven at this point? I mean, he's playing great individual basketball year 19, but what is all these 50-point games, and what is this actually proving? What do you think, is happening with the King?
I just think that he's just trying to. I know he really wants to win a championship, but with the team that he has, it's not going to win. So we don't know how long he's going to be in LA. I know he wants to play with the Sun. You can see a potential for him to go back to Cleveland to go play with the Sun and try to make a power move of it. He's also trying to be the greatest of all time. You see that he really wants to go get Kareem's record of the all-time scoring list.
Do you think
He's the
that's the
first.
do you think that's the number one goal at this point of this season? He may not can accomplish it this year, but do you think that's the target, is to get closer to that more than making the playoffs?
Uh,
All right, man. Peace to my NBA family. It's your host, Seven Mitchell, with the Best of Seven Sports Talk. I just wanted to take this time out to say thank you to each and every one of you guys for so much support for the podcast. I hope you guys are really enjoying some of the outside the box angles we take, bringing you in these NBA storylines. Please don't forget to like and share. Most importantly, rate the podcast. You can follow us on social media. All the links will be in the description. And if you would like to contribute to the Best of Seven Sports Talk platform, we have merchandise available, as well as links for the merch, and donations will be all in the description. Once again, thank each and every one of you guys in the NBA community for supporting the show. This is Seven Mitchell with the Best of Seven Sports Talk. Let's talk some NBA action.
I think he's trying to make the playoffs more than he does with the scoring list. I think he's going to get it next season. I don't think he's going to get it this season, unfortunately. I think he's trying to focus on trying to get at least the Lakers to the play-in. He's trying to, wait for Anthony Davis just to get back on the court healthy so that they could possibly get into the play-in tournament so that they could, make a run for it, at least to go make the playoffs, because there's not really a high chance of the Lakers making the playoffs by the way they've been playing their basketball.
Right.
And it's just not looking good right now. So LeBron is going to do what he does on the court, and performs really well. But I just don't think that there's a high chance of them making the playoffs unless AD stays healthy, and then they can make a run in the play-in tournament.
Gotcha. Last topic, bro. Last question for you, JP. Coach Popovich, Greg Popovich, has become the all-time winningest NBA coach. Is Coach Pop the best coach ever in NBA history to you?
I think he's top 3. I think Phil Jackson's still going to be the greatest coach of all time. 11 championships, with the 6 with the Bulls and 5 with the Lakers. Phil Jackson's legacy, I mean, if you just look at his resume, I mean, it speaks for itself. Would I put him over a guy like Red Auerbach? I don't really think I'm going to put him over Red Auerbach, what he did for the Boston Celtics and winning championships with like a lot of players on that team that were all-stars as well. I think Coach is a top three all time. The question with Popovich is that much of a great coach that he was, we see in the back end of his coaching career, the Spurs haven't.
He got exposed.
He got really exposed. He got really exposed. I think, Popovich had Duncan for, 20 years in the league. If they didn't win that title in '99, I think Popovich would have been out. So they've been blessed and fortunate. And then R.C. Booth for making the great draft picks of Ginobili and Tony Parker, Kawhi Leonard. You can name players on and getting people from, different championships teams to fit with the chemistry with the Spurs. So, and then have them play basketball, let everybody touch the basketball. So, as great as it was, I just think that he just not showing the consistency as a coach in the back end, and it's just showing. You got you got high future potential players like a Javante Murray and a Keldon Johnson, but it's just not showing in the records that the
Because he's too
Spurs used
old
to be.
school. He's
Yeah,
too old school for that, man. At the end of the day, and
yeah,
when you think about it, you had Duncan and Robinson. They basically
yep,
fell in his damn lap.
yep.
You understand what I'm saying? And I will admit, I'll give the Spurs credit. I'll call that experience a dynasty if you want to call it. But if I remember correctly, maybe I need to get a new television. I don't remember ever watching San Antonio go back to back or three-peating, like Phil Jackson did and some of the other more dominant coaches in history. Not that
Mm-hmm.
that should make or break anything, but
Mm-hmm.
Greg Popovich never won back-to-back championships. And like you said, once those Hall of Famers were out the building, to me, he was exposed.
Yeah, and after Duncan retired, so you had to really fill a spot for Tim Duncan because that's a big piece. And Kawhi, and they got LaMarcus Aldridge, and Kawhi was supposed to be taking that leap, and then he get hurt, and then he don't like the Spurs medical organization, so he went to Toronto. So then you're giving it to LaMarcus Aldridge, and then you gave him DeMar DeRozan. Now I'll give Popovich credit because if you watch DeMar's game, it improved so much that he's a top 5 MVP candidate this year because of his playmaking too as well. He learned that from Popovich in the London tree, because he was willing to listen to Popovich and what he's teaching them. But yeah, it's just not showing in the records, and he's just getting exposed. And I just think that he's probably just leaning towards the retirement. And if you remember in the USA, during the Olympics, like KD was very vocal in terms of Popovich and the way he was coaching because it's a
Absolutely.
different league now. Same with Tom Thibodeau up in New York. He's very old school and is not really showing in the records. So they're not going to adapt their coaching ways to benefit the young talent in today's NBA. They're still going to do their own way and see that they're going to win it. But it's just getting exposed.
It's been a blast, JP, bro. I appreciate you, man. 117 is now in the books. This is the Best of Seven Sports Talk. Let everybody know one more time, bro, where they can follow you at before we sign off.
Yeah, man. If y'all want to follow me on Twitter, it's at JP Franchise 57. You can follow me on my Instagram, Paden 57. Follow me on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna put out a video this week about Ginobili and just how crafty he was as a player. So definitely look out for the video. My YouTube channel is just JP right here. Close to 1,500 subscribers. Please subscribe down below when you watch the video and like the video and support the movement, man. It's not just me, man. It's one team, one dream.